Two men were slashed in the face about 2 days ago. That's the 27th on a Saturday in this area. This is Brighton, Sillwood Place. And there you have a car that looks just like my car. Nice stripes and nice colors. But my car is right here. Now this is where I used to live, just in this area. This is Sillwood Street area. And two men were slashed in the face by a bloke who is going to be in the magistrate's court on this day in a few hours. But this is my car. Nice colours as well. These are red and black colours. My parents my reverend father and his church visited this area when I was living over here, just down this area, about 20 or 25 years ago, or 30 years ago. And they visited me because I was feeling poorly. So they literally brought the whole church congregation, all of them driving down the M23 and A23, or M27 and A27, I can't remember which one. I used to live just here, just along there, along that part of the road. And they all came here to check me out. Now, while I was living here, this place I've just come out of, this place here, I was literally living there, but recently here, until about 1 year ago, when I was living here, up these stairs and along the way, up these stairs and along the way, okay, when I was living here, I was visited as well by three people, and I met them on this street, and they offered me some drugs. And having offered me some drugs, I was not going to be having any drugs. So we went into my place, we had some drinks, or rather, they had some drinks. They had a drink of water, that was it. They asked for a drink of water. But first of all, they offered me a sip of their liquor. I had a sip of the liquor after work. I just finished work and I met them along this street. I had a sip of their liquor and they requested me to be having a glass of water from my flat, having asked me if I live in this area. So therefore they came to my place, had a drink of water, but upon having a drink of water, they said to myself, would it be okay if they did some drugs in my flat? Upon that request, I requested that they exit my flat immediately. The other thing that happened, of course, was my parents came here, or my dad came here with his whole congregation from his church when I used to live just there. So on one hand, you have the offering of drugs from some people who had just been clubbing, and on the other hand, you have my reverend stalwart father, a reverend, who had visited myself just in order to ensure that I was okay and in good spirits. Hola, señora. Hello, señorita. Hola, putra. and then so it was that on the one hand you had people who offered me drugs. On the other hand, I come from a very, very good family. I had invariably my dad's congregation, people known to myself, may have had slightly nefarious lifestyles. For instance, my own brother, I'm sure he was my brother, he was my dad's son after all. My own brother had some dealings with drugs. He was a drug dealer. So the people that visited me to ensure that I was okay, they themselves were not entirely on the up and up, you see. But at the end of the day, they were very, very, very good people. Indeed, they were good people. They were churchgoers. But some of them were a bit on the down and down. And they came to this area, about 30 years ago. So on the one hand, you have church people in this area Then on the other hand, you have a drug dealer walking on the street offering me some drugs. Another thing that happened was I think 3 nefarious people wanted to visit my house. So then I lived in one of these doors, and then my flat was about 2 paces from this door. And then somebody wanted to visit, somebody knocked on my door. Somebody who lived in one of the other doors within that door knocked on my door and asked me if I wanted a free burger because somebody had delivered him a burger, he didn't want it. Then, months later, when somebody else was living where this person was living, okay, 2 doors from me, he knocked on my door and just wanted to be friends. And I thought, who was this person that decided to be my friend? You see, I had to refuse him as well. But then, when somebody after him was living at the same address, what happened? I went to the supermarket, my local supermarket, just around this corner here. Just around the corner, there's a good local supermarket. And then I walked in, and my neighbor from the same house, from the same door, my neighbor was actually shopping in them. And my neighbor was dressed like very trendily, but invariably a kind of like questionable set of attire. And I didn't really want to say hello to him, you see. So there are some strange people that kind of like to be friends, but sometimes their behavior and their culture, their lifestyle is very questionable. And so these are the strange things that happened on the street that I used to live in, where the same person became where there was a slashing. So somebody slashed somebody, was arrested, and is going to be in the magistrate's court later this afternoon, apparently today. And today, the 29th of June, 2026. And so some very strange things happen on the street. But this is to put some of the things that happen in context for your community, prosperity. So our Brighton community, gets the heads up and gets the inside story about some of the motivations for some of the things that occur in this part of town. Key facts: 2 people were slashed on the face. Another fact: I used to live in this area, whatever the connection between myself and this area makes. So I used to live in 2 places in this area, in this little enclave here, and just around the corner on the street over there called Oriental Place. So what is the connection and what is the motivation for people acting so outrageously at this time of the year? But all of this information are to put into context the motivations for people doing some strange things in this area. Anyway, this is Mr. Donko reporting live at the scene of somewhere where 2 people got slashed, but the slasher is going to be in the magistrate's court later this afternoon. Thanks for listening. Bye.